We're in business, dude.
Yeah, let's do this. This is a lot earlier than normal. This is so early. This is Thursday before game one of the first round of the ALCS. So I got my Red Sox stuff on. Red Sox Rays game one in about an hour's time. So I've been wearing every time the Red Sox have played a game. I've been wearing their stuff. So I'm sticking to it. I'm not sure it's going to make any difference at all. But hey, I like to be superstitious with things like that. So.
But that's not a problem, dude. Every now and again we get all a bit superstitious about something.
Now, one thing I'm curious, because I don't know how much I'm allowed to ask you about this, because I'm not sure how much is going on your podcast. You're not with us on the show this week because you're in London doing your gaming thing. Can we ask you about what's happened so far? I know it's still early in the week, like the travel ride up there, or is it like I don't want to tread on any toes or ruin any spoilers. I saw you were on a train, so I'm kind of curious if you spent like three quid on a bag of crisps or anything like that. Oh, you got your band on. Okay.
And
so day one was today then?
Yes, that's Super Pass. And this is the most important one.
Press. Very nice. I'm so stupid. I was like, why would you want to press there? Jesus Christ. Like, my brain was so slow on that. I was like, okay, are you going to press it?
You're slow on that. I've been awake now for 19 hours, dude. Because I woke up this morning at 10 to 5 because I couldn't sleep.
I can beat that from the previous day. I was up at 3:30. I don't know what the heck was wrong with me on that one, but I got some schoolwork done. Got my steps in early, which was good because it was raining in the evening. So I'm trying to get in like 6,000 steps in the morning. This 10,000 steps is a breeze if you get 5,000 done before you even go to work.
Well, today, I did today, bearing my the first day of EGX, I did 15,684 steps.
Nice. Is that because you were at Weatherspoons at lunch and you had to go to the bathroom?
Weatherspoons? You don't have Weatherspoons in London, Graham?
Yes, they do.
I've never seen one.
Okay, well, I'm going to Google it later. I'm going to tell you next episode how many Weatherspoons there are in London. I'm calling at least 25.
I'm fully aware there are multiple in London. I've just never seen one.
Okay.
Maybe because I just usually, most of the time I'm in London, I'm usually in Premier Inns or travel lodges or other hotels I've available, of course. And it's been really good fun. I mean, sort of things. I bumped physical places like Cyber Choices, and this one's kind of fun. This is from Samaritans, actually. A little booklet, because you never know who's going to be at these things, and some people need to talk. And one of the things is that some of the gaming community can be really toxic, actually. So it's good that there's people there to help sometimes. It's always good to hear.
I just realized I have a terrible tan line right here. This shirt must be super short. All right, I got to adjust my position. There we go. That's better.
I'm going to show you something though that I did get today, because you get loads of free swag.
Sure, yeah, of course. They want to get their logo out there, and they're quite happy to give stuff out because you're going to promote it now.
Absolutely. So let me show you something. What?
What are you going to show?
What are you laughing at?
Nothing at all. What have you got?
All right. Okay. One of the games.
I'm so glad this is a video podcast. You might have pulled your pants up a little higher.
At least I want to show my ass. It's fine.
It's better than what happened on Five Nerds podcast, allegedly. So
I never did that. Anyway, one of the games I played was called Harp Song, and this game is based. The reason why they made it is because it's all based around Irish law, and all the stuff like the legends in Ireland and things. It's all really, really cool stuff. It's a very familiar sort of film. I'm actually interviewing him on Sunday, so that'll be on Game Junkies itself. So, but one of the bits of free swag was this.
What is it? I can't even see.
It's Irish incense.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen anything like this at a gaming convention as free swag before. So I picked that up for Chris. So he's going to enjoy that when I get home.
So do they give you a big bag when you walk in, so you can just kind of just load it up?
You can buy the tote bag if you want to. There is loads of merch stands everywhere. Alex and Kerry pretty much are going around buying things. These massive, giant, like pillows, which are actually 20-sided dice, which for cushions. They're quite good fun. I've actually got some video.
So you fall asleep while you're playing Dungeons and Dragons?
You might. I'm still amazed that you don't enjoy that, given the maths involved in it.
I am going to promote Devoid Podcast though at this point now, because I know that Derek talked to a couple of Dungeons and Dragons players this week. I only listened to the first minute, but I did make sure I promoted it. It's not my thing, but I know that there are plenty of people who are interested in that type of thing.
I've got to admit, I'm surprised I didn't get a call for that one, but never mind. But you know, Derek, if you want to follow up one, me, Alex and Kerry, Chad and Caitlin, all available.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
May even have you on at some point in the future, buddy. Little guest starring role never hurts every now and again. All rising tide rises all ships.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about, buddy? Well, apart from me,
I have literally nothing written down. I didn't even bother writing anything down. I'm kind of curious if you've been how much you've been had a chance to follow the news today. Like I'm sure you did yesterday on the train up, but it looks like the team with the richest owners in English football is now Newcastle United.
I did see this. I have concerns. However, at the same time, difference between Newcastle United and Manchester City is that Man City are a rich club. Newcastle are a big, rich club now. Yeah. Newcastle are a big, big club. Man City, not a big club. Rich club, big club, two very different things.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were covering the Liverpool City game on Techers last week, it was really good fun hearing some of the chants coming from the Kop end to the away end, saying, "Where's your Champions Leagues?" I mean, it's banter, but the fact is that they had a chance. They're the favourites to win it this year, and they choked like they always do.
I think that they can be favourites when they don't have an out-and-out striker right now. Like it was something that's an obvious. Last year they got by without it most of the time. Sergio Aguero was injured for a long time, and now he's left. But they haven't really found a replacement, to be honest. And it seems like if you're going to spend £100 million on a midfielder, I know he's an attacking midfielder, but you might have wanted to look. I know that there's some big free agent signings coming up, possibly in January or certainly in the summer. So, but yeah, for right now, I don't think you can class them as favourites. They're certainly a good team, no doubt.
That's the thing, is that Jack Grealish, obviously £100 million, you've got to start him, as people keep saying. But that matter is that he was taken off for Sterling halfway through the second half, at which point they had the same squad playing as it was there last season.
Yeah.
They only really started doing well when they took Grealish off, is what I'm saying.
There were certain people saying that they'd wasted £100 million, which it is questionable right now. Like he's a very good player for sure, but I don't know. I kind of thought when he was playing for England in the Euros, he was better when he kind of came on. I know people wanted him to start. I thought he was better when he came on second half as a sub, just to kind of fire things up a little bit. But that's a lot of money to spend on a sub.
The problem is that Jack Grealish, and this is my opinion, of course. Jack Grealish works way better in a team where he's got good creative control and everything built around him. And when he went to Man City, he didn't have to fit into what Man City does. I mean, they put him out on the wing, and I think he scored one goal since he's been there. He's really not lit Man City on fire yet. In fact, as soon as Kevin De Bruyne gets on the pitch, nothing goes through Grealish.
Yeah. How many goals has Jadon Sancho scored for Manchester United? I think he was about 85 million.
I think he scored one in Europe, or maybe in the Cup.
Okay. I knew it was either 1 or 0, but there's been a lot of big money spendings who've not really, for the amount of money, that haven't made a big impact. Obviously, he's for the future as well. He's still very young.
He's also done a few assists for the other big signing, which is Ronaldo, of course.
Yeah. Now, I was listening to, and I don't know how, you've probably not been on Facebook at all today. I have been listening to something that you sent me an audio file of from about, I think, 6 years ago. It's your version of, well, I say your version, the FT316 version of Fighting Talk, with fans from the show taking part of it. I think you sent me the copy. And one of the things that I thought was interesting, one of the questions talked about, what do you miss in sports? I can't remember quite how the question came about. I think it was possibly because the Olympics had finished and like people were missing it, and it's like, what do you miss in sports? One of the answers, that the one that actually got the 2 points, I believe, from Dougie, was terracing in football. Now, I don't know if it's just because I've become very Americanized now, and I listened to that answer, and it might be because it's 6 years later as well, but I was like, you know what? I don't miss terracing at all. I'm much happier going to a sporting event, being able to sit down with my kids. You can see over the top because there's obviously it's on a level. You don't have to worry, is somebody going to be in front of you? One of the other comments was, I love terracing because if you're behind someone who's like really sweary, you can move to another part of the stadium. And I was like, we don't really have to put up with that. Like, if anything, like, there's numbers you can call. Like, anyone's being drunk, any antisocial behavior, like, you can call a number, say where the seat location is, and then the stewards will come and deal with it. So I was kind of curious. Is it just because, like, when I was in England, I used to love the terracing. I used to love going to go to Chesterfield games, being able to stand. You can sing along, and I don't know. I don't actually miss it now, to be honest. I don't know if that's just because I'm getting an old fart as well. I was curious what your opinions were on terracing in football, where you could stand.
To be fair, in a way, I sort of miss it. They've got safe standing stuff. He's returning in January. It's being trialled, including Anfield. Which,
okay. I assume at the top then.
Well, I assume so. It's going to be interesting because you get all of these grounds. I've got these record attendances, and these are all the day before it was all City Stadiums.
Of course, yeah.
Now, granted, I like being able to sit down at a game because sometimes you don't get a good game. I remember going to Oldham versus West Ham United in the second round of the Football League Cup one year. West Ham won the Premier League and Oldham were League One. Went for a pie at half time. It was 0-0. While I was queuing up, it's a goal scorer for Oldham Athletic. I've never heard a collective groan so loud in my life. So yeah, that's a game which I certainly am very glad I had a seat for sure. Don't know. I sort of miss it, but I sort of don't, to be honest, mate.
Interestingly, the only English football game that my wife has been to also featured West Ham. We travelled to visit family up in Chesterfield area, and it was Chesterfield versus West Ham in the cup, and Chesterfield stuffed them. It was hilarious. It was totally unexpected. My grandma, who's not alive anymore, she got us the tickets. She managed to get them for us, and we were like, great, thanks, that'll be awesome. And it was brilliant. I remember getting like a halftime bovril or something. It was just like, I hadn't done that in such a while. It was so cool to do that. And yeah, it went to penalties. If I remember correctly, I think it was 3-3, and I think it went to penalties. And then they won on penalties. But yeah, totally unexpected. And I love it. That's the joy.
Whoa. For the benefit of the record of a tape, you said they absolutely stuffed them.
They did. They're way down. They were in like the third tier at this point. They were like the top tier. So in terms of that difference.
The stuffing is win to 0.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, they didn't win 5-0 or anything like that. But from my point of view, they were dominant in that game. Like West Ham were struggling. My wife said that if she hadn't have known, she wouldn't have realised who was like the Premier League team and who was the Division 2 team, which is actually 3 tiers down because of how we number them.
I shall remind you that 11 years ago, sir, um, Liverpool 2, Northampton Town 2, after extra time, Northampton Town win on penalties.
It happens. It's the joy of the cup.
I know. I got my arse chewed out for our work the next day, I tell you.
Now, I'm going to guess Liverpool fielded a much weakened team, though, because they often do in things like that, whereas West Ham did not field a weakened team from what I can remember.
It was actually one of the strongest sides we could have named.
Really? Wow. There's been a few. From where I grew up, Mansfield Town ran Liverpool close a few years ago as well. And there was a lot of sort of local people reminding me of that fact because they knew I was a Liverpool fan. I seem to remember there was a really obscure minor league team that kind of got close to them as well. It was like a double barrel name. It was like something and something. They got really close. I think they scored like 3 against us as well. Was it like Waterville, and I don't even know.
Havant and Waterlooville. They went 1-0 up, then went 1-0. Yossi Benayoun equalised, and then they went 2-1 up, and then Yossi Benayoun got a hat trick.
Mm-hmm. But that was a severely minor team, though.
It was indeed. I remember being at work with the BBC 5 live commentary on, and they actually broke away to go to the Havant and Waterlooville commentary of the Liverpool game to actually for each goal that went in individually, and I'm like, fuck off. And then thankfully, we won 4-2.
But there's been a few over the years that have been a little closer than they should be. It should be, for sure.
Absolutely. For context, by the way, the team that we fielded that night, Adam, I believe the goalkeeper was, maybe if not Dida, but he was a good goalkeeper. Put it this way, I wouldn't have. Peggy Arfexad was better than him.
Okay.
Wow. That's the name of the book.
That's saying a lot.
That squad would not stay in the Premier League in the current era.
No.
The Premier League has got such a long way now. It's still better than it used to be.
All right, I'm going to move away from soccer talk, but I'm going to do it by mentioning my youngest, who broke his wrist on Monday because he fell off his bike. I still don't quite know how he broke his wrist. He doesn't know either. He was outside playing with Mason. He was riding his bike. It took him way too long. He wouldn't practice during COVID, like without the wheels. So he's had the training wheels on for a long time. They came off. He's been riding for probably about 5-6 weeks now. He said that we're in fall. There are trees coming down. When we've had storms, there's like branches. He said that he was riding along. He hit a branch and he fell. Now, I can understand how you fall off your bike, you break a wrist. What he told me is he said he fell to the left. So, Matt, as I'm demonstrating, if you fall, you would think that you would try and stop yourself with your left hand. He broke his right wrist. Like, surely as you're falling, this hand would be up in the air. This is a hand that he broke. Like, I can't imagine, unless it fell, like, under his arm, under his body, and then he landed. Like, I just can't put it together. He can't tell me either, because obviously it happened so quickly, but it's just like really strange. Now, I said there was a connection to soccer here. So today when he came home, of course, 7-year-old, he doesn't want to stay inside. He wants to play because that's what 7-year-olds do. So I said, all right, you can go play outside, but you need to be sensible. Anyway, I checked in on him like after 10 minutes, and he was just playing cornhole where they throw the bean bags through the holes. Like, perfect. That's a great game for you to play. You can play left-handed safe. Came in for his dinner, went back out again. Same thing, like, hey, you can go outside, but you need to be sensible, whatever. 10 minutes later, Mom arrives back home, dragging him, well, not dragging him inside, but sending him inside. He's playing soccer outside. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you got to be kidding me. So I think the next month could be very interesting with a frustrated 7-year-old who will either probably have 2 broken wrists and 2 broken feet, or will be having serious temper issues. But thankfully, he's okay. He's just got to be safe.
That's 3 months.
Right now the doctor said that they're going back for a checkup in 1 month. So right now he can't do any playing for a month, is what he's been told. Of course, that could be prolonged, but pretty much like COVID things, like restrictions last for so long, and then they'll evaluate it and see what's going to happen. So
I mean, I will say, yes, Tanner, if you're watching this, by the way, I am not a doctor. Okay, and yeah, Mag, I'm fully aware that Mag's now going to say about hormones and everything. Shut up. Right. I'm imagining that he could have gone that way and maybe fallen backwards, maybe, as going off.
If the bike's going the other way, that would be. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it seems I don't know. He,
But
like I said,
but then he would have hit his head as well.
correct, correct, and he has grazes on his knees, and he has a graze on his left elbow, and he has a graze on his left knee, which is consistent with falling that direction as well.
It could have gone over as well. Where it was weaker before, it may have helped it.
It could have. I did warn Bishop no codes using, because when I fell down the stairs, he had like hashtag use code bad cop fell for 75% off or whatever the heck it was. And I was like, don't you dare. I was like, I felt so bad for that little guy. And it said originally it was going to be a 3-hour wait. In the end, it was about a 2-hour wait, which is under current circumstances is not too bad actually.
So how are things in general at the moment? Is Boy Wonder off a naughty step?
He is. It looks like there'll be an MGB episode. In the end, I think we probably could have had one. I was originally told he'd lost his stuff for 2 days, and then suddenly on the Sunday, I saw he had all his stuff back again. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I misunderstood what was happening. But having put all the posts out, I'm like, nah. I was like, you don't need to record this week. So there's plenty of stuff for this week, though. I took a quick peek on IWTV, kind of just to look for some possible good cop moments. And while I was there, I was looking through some matches. And I was like, ooh, that one looks good. Yes, I'd like to see that. Yes, I'd like to see that. So I think there'll be enough for a good 40-minute episode from MGB this weekend.
Well, I can't say. I've had a few things to talk about wrestling-wise this week, but that's mainly about the draft, and you can see all of that over on the video that me and Ori made on Techers, and Ori could be on later on Google Backup later month, of course.
I think it's straight after the Brainbuster Boys, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's that following week. Yeah, I found out on Techers Live that you were cheating on me on a wrestling podcast. I had no idea at all. I had to find out live on Techers. Oh,
Graham,
it was a dagger in my heart.
Is that the person who's on 3 wrestling podcasts? You really can't talk that.
Jackson did talk about today. He's like, I want my own separate YouTube channel for my own material. I was like, no. He's like, how do you do that? I was like, you set up an account. He's like, how do you do that? I have a feeling he's going to try and set up his own JGB wrestling podcast channel.
Passion. I admire his passion.
He is. We haven't recorded an episode in 3 weeks. I haven't even tried to. I think right now he just actually with his arm situation now, it actually might be a good thing to try and do something a little creative that doesn't involve running around. So we might have to investigate a few things. I don't know what. I don't have any more goofy matches for him right now, particularly, but the joy of JGB is like we try different things. Like we've done 205 Live, we watch Superstars, we've done goofy matches. We're just like a typical 7-year-old. We change our mind. We'll do something for a little bit, and then we're like, nope, now let's do something totally different. So who knows when I talk to you next what we might do.
If you want some more goofy balls, I've got dozens for you.
I had a partial list, but it was okay.
Have you ever watched the APA Barroom Brawl?
Yes. Yeah, we review. Oh, that's the MGB Lost episode. I don't know where it is. I keep forgetting. I keep saying I need to go and check on the other computer to see. My computer went down, so I borrowed Mason's one, which I'd originally given him, and then I gave it back to him. I think it might be on there somewhere, so I might have to go look. But yeah, we recorded it as a random episode where we're like, we can release this at any time.
It's a bizarre match. Funny, but bizarre. Is there fun? A lot of hardcore matches back in the day. He had one with Crash Holly defending his
7-year-olds.
bear in mind, I'm going to say Crash Holly defending his hardcore championship at Chuck E. Cheese in the ball pit.
Oh, okay. That does sound something that's okay. Well, actually, you had a go at me because I showed him one match that was an ECW match, and you were like, what?
I'm concerned about ECW, yes.
I thought it was fine. I previewed it ahead of time. I thought it was fine. But...
You're fine with it, Dad. It's all good. But you know, I don't want to send you in a wrong direction. I have a conscience, after all.
Yeah, a Chuck E. Cheese one I think would be kind of good. The one I have seen, and I asked Mr. Tolley about this, and I don't think he responded to me. It might be because he doesn't know the answer. I saw a clip on Twitter probably about 3 months ago, and I believe it's Sami Zayn, or it might be El Generico. I can't remember which version it is, fighting some Japanese wrestler in a kayak. And I was like, but it was only a clip. It was like a 30-second clip. And I think I asked him as my New Japan expert. I was like, do you know where this match? Do you know what this match is? Do you know where I can find it? Type of thing. And I'm still kind of sure. I'll have to look it up. Perhaps if I can find that message I sent, I might be able to post it in general.
I have seen Sami Zayn and Finn Balor in a kayak together, and that's an image that I could over and over look at.
No, this was definitely definitely something from
sure
Japan.
Myself, I have to build up my New Japan article, I think, for that.
But that one sort of caught my, because I was like, whoa, I've never. Well, first of all, obviously it was not on a set or anything because it was by a river, so that was kind of just a little bit interesting.
That Mr. Harris or Mag will be shouting at the screen right now as they're watching. Hello, guys, by the way.
Oh, I hope so. Hopefully somebody is listening who is far more educated than what I am, and then they can send me a message or post it in the chat and post it in the comments.
Post in the comments, and we'll get back to you. And we'll get back to you.
We'll find it. Yeah, I'll mention it when I promote this episode as well. That hey, we're looking for some wrestling. We're looking for our wrestling experts to help us out on something we don't know, and their egos will. That might get a few more listeners in as well. Their egos will be like, oh, I bet we can help out.
Matt's not the best when it comes to Japan stuff. I'm still learning there, so
yeah.
I'm humble enough to say that I don't know the answer.
Do you still have their network, or I don't know what it's called, but do you still subscribe to them?
Japan World, you mean?
Yeah.
I catch the highlights on YouTube.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I know you were trying to. There's just so much stuff, and it's just even more difficult.
So much stuff. When you're paying for a wedding, you've got to start putting your ducks in a line.
Yes, you do.
Impact Plus, Graham.
Talking about ducks, I saw today, it was on I think it's called like Really Wholesome Memes or something. Somebody posted that they went to a hotel in London, and waiting for them, like on the nightstand, was a tiny little rubber dog, and there was a message that said something like, "Hey, my name is Edwin. I'm hoping you're going to look after me, blah, 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 blah." And somebody said it was too cute. I could not take the duck with me, so they didn't carry it. I'm going to be very disappointed if I go to next time I go to London, if I go to a hotel, if I don't get one of those little ducks. I think that's much nicer than the chocolate on the pillow. I'm going to guess you did not get a duck at your hotel. Oh, I like that idea. I thought that was good. Apparently somebody said, because I guess people were asking which hotel is it because they wanted it, and they were like, go ahead, Google it. Apparently several hotels in London actually do that, leaving you a tiny little rubber duck.
Bearing in mind, Graham, that I'm staying in I'm staying in a hotel which is advertised by a well-known comedian, let's put it that way. I try not to give him promotional stuff, yeah, unfortunately.
He's a comedian? Huh. Not for a long time has he made me laugh. That's me. That's me. I'm assuming that comedian still does the commercials. We could be talking at cross purposes, of course. No, it is that same person.
It is that same person, yes.
Mm-hmm. What are the coat hangers like in your hotel? I don't think any of the FT316 people listen, but that's always a question that gets asked. It's always important to know the quality of the coat hangers. This is how you can judge the quality of the hotel, apparently. Oh, it's just I don't like those ones that have the nail on the top of them. I want a proper hook on the top.
Hook to the back.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, it is a wooden one though, so it's pretty good. So what other amenities then do you have there? You got yourself a kettle, a fridge, anything?
Got kettle.
You got an alarm clock, I guess.
Pardon?
Alarm clock? That's normally pretty standard. No alarm clock?
No.
Wow, okay.
We actually have a plug by the bed. The first time I ever stayed in a hotel room in England with a hotel plug by the bed.
That's I'm gonna say that's one thing I do like about American motels. They normally have, because they know you want to charge up. Everyone wants to charge up their phones, their Kindles, their everything, game machine, whatever it is. So, yeah, that works pretty good.
What else have I got? Got a hairdryer. Got all me amenities.
What was the charade or charade that you just did for a hairdresser Oh, that's not what I thought. That okay, all right. Looked like you did like this. I was like, that's interesting. Okay, you got a crowbar in there. Why have you got a crowbar in there?
If you listen to Dungeons and Junkies, you'd know that my character Shambles wields a crowbar.
And you know damn well I don't listen to it, so that's why I had to ask, obviously.
This I'm taking to EGX with me tomorrow.
Looks like a weapon. I don't think they're going to let that through the metal detector.
It's fine.
Oh, it's convincing though. Ah, you tricked me. Nice job,
well,
Trickster.
It's meant to. It's kind of fun. It's all good. Yeah. So, Graham, that's what I do for the pre-show. Have a really good episode.
I think that will do perfectly for the pre-show.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to have the Brainbuster boys. I know you will be listening. You're probably on the way back, probably the following. Are you traveling back Sunday night or Monday morning?
Monday afternoon. It will be part of listening material.
All right. So yeah, we'll be able to accompany you on your train ride. All right, Matt. I appreciate you staying up. I'd say way past midnight now in England. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. We finishing this before Game 1 starts as well. So I don't have coverage unfortunately, but I have the audio, and I still have a bit of schoolwork to do. So I'm gonna go catch that as well.
Okay. The last word I have on it always everybody out there, be good to each other, be nice, and lads. We're out of here.
Boom.